Okay, so now we have our trend line entry variation. So this is not the textbook example trade entries. You will not always find a picture perfect setups on the chart. Sometimes the trend lines will be completely intersected and become invalid. The market completely moves away from the intersected trend lines for some time, but comes back later and obeys the trend line that was intersected. So they do not occur regularly, but they certainly do involve trend lines and does pay to know them. Be able to spot them, because when it comes, it will be possible to draw a normal trend line. So these are the variations that we're talking about right here. So as you can see with the first one right here, this is a long setup, so meaning that we're buying here. So the market is going up, we're buying. Remember, long just means you're buying, short means you're selling. Okay, it's not about holding the trade for a long time or anything. But as you can see right here, the market was down here below our resistance, and then it broke through, made this our support, come back here for a second touch, and at the same time, I don't know if you can see, we actually have a W formation here, and that is what we, and here you could have entered your trade, right? Could have entered your trade, retested that level, that could be an opportunity to enter more trades, and basically the market went up. So that's a variation number one. Variation number two, this is for selling setup. As you can see right here, market bounced off here, our support, came back, broke through, now resistance, had a W formation here, turned around, came back here, but then it retested this level, bounced off, and went down. And as you can see, we also have a head and shoulder in this instance. So being able to see all this is just is something that you will be able to see over time. But as you can see here, we actually have a head and shoulder as well, and it has the point over there reversed, and this is just a confirmation. So you would very much enter a trade here on this retest here with more courage, with more confidence, because you understand what the market is doing in this current trade. So it's very, very powerful, guys. Very, very powerful to practice your patterns and actually understand what is going on. And then our third and fourth variations right here. So here we have our another buy setup. So as you can see here, we have our support levels, and then the market broke through here. It broke through and penetrated through this market, but eventually came back again and continued in the uptrend. So this was just a minor that just came through there. So as you can see, the price was bouncing off here. So the more bounces, the better, and also the more significant they are. So the more bounces that you have there, the better the trend line is. So you don't have to worry much about this breakout, fake breakouts that are happening there. Here again, you can see with our short setup, so for selling opportunity, you can see that basically you have the previous resistance level still having influence even after the trend line has been intersected. So it was intersected, but it still have influence later on right here. So some of the variations that you need to take to keep in mind just in case this happens. But as we said, it doesn't occur that much, but when it does pay you a lot to actually have to know these things. So as you might have noticed, variation number 1 and 2 are opposites, so meaning the buy and sell trades. As you can see right here, we have our the opposite direction. So we have the setup in a bullish market and in a downtrend market, and so are the variation number 3 and 4. Also, we have a bullish and then a bearish setup right there. So it is impossible to draw a normal trend line in these conditions, because we have an obstruction over here and an obstruction over there as well, even though the downtrend. But with this variation, you could have got in a trade as well. So keep this in the back of your mind when you analyze, because they are important. So these are just the variations that you need to keep in mind, that it may violate the normal rules of a trend line, but they are also important and help us to enter a trade when it has been respected. Once again, as you can see, it has been respected when the market came back in here. So also important to keep in mind of these different variations.